ever have enough time to play it all. You know everybody wants to walk in someone else's shoes. Everyone's forgot who they are. Such a grind to waste his time away.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Otter Creek and Rio Grande. If you've been keeping up with the channel, then hopefully you watched the most recent video, which was structure build 26, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head right now what I titled that video, but it showed all the auxiliary buildings that I've created to this point, which includes the dock, the carpenter's shop, this little, what I'm calling a tool shed at the moment, and the water tower. And now I think I'm ready to get started doing some other things in the scene here. And I'm still kind of up in the air about what I may or may not do concerning the tailings that could come out this way. I'm going to put that on hold for a while. It's still kind of in the back of my mind. Same thing with maybe another dock in between these two tracks. So I'm kind of at a point where, what do I need to do next? The model railroading question of which comes first, the chicken or the egg, or making sure you don't put the cart before the horse. So I'm going to do a little thinking out loud here like I like to do. All right, I'm kind of looking at this and in three different sections, the area here. So I've got everything that kind of involves the tracks and forward of the tracks, kind of the foreground area. Then I've got all of the area in and around the buildings, as I'm thinking of it a little separately than I am everything else. And then finally, I've got, this piece and everything on the back side in this area over here as kind of a third section of the scene as I build it. So I'm not ready to do anything with the front of the scene, the foreground, and I am pretty much ready to work in and around the buildings because I think they're where I want them to be. But I think I probably should start with everything on the back side first. I think that's probably my best game plan. So I'm going to get started doing that. Here we go. while I'm letting the paint dry, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of work on the substrate for the mine itself. And I'm going to try and create areas, that, nothing is level is the idea here. Is this mine is built into a mountain, so therefore you're going to be dealing with a lot of different elevation issues. And I've got a line right here scribed that tells me where the dock level is, and I've got this line here scribed telling me kind of where I want this to be of the same level going back, or at least, from here to there, I would like there to be a rise. Now, I also, somewhere, I've got a picture of a building somewhere, I'm assuming in the late 1900s, I'm not sure, could have been the early I said late 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, and some kind of animal has burrowed underneath the foundation of the building, and I thought, that might be kind of a neat thing to try and model. So that's what's going on here. Got all of the prep work done for the groundwork concerning the foam base for the structure here, and I've got this currently kind of gluing to the plywood, and I need to put some weight on it so that it will glue up appropriately. I sure hope it does, because one of the things that I'm wanting to do is come in with ties. These are, I believe, standard HO ties, and I plan on stacking them all the way up to here. So I need all of this to lay nice and flat, and of course it also is going to have the shaft house on top of it. So that's got to lay flush with this. Now, I think everything needs to dry overnight before I can do anything else. And I think that's what's going to happen. So we will come back and hit it again tomorrow. I'm going to interrupt this regularly scheduled program to share a couple of things that I've got. Now, as a general rule, what I try and do is share the purchases that I get from channel members and those who buy coffee. And one such occasion was several months ago. I bought a pretty large purchase of LCC things, and I did not do an unboxing. I can't remember exactly why, but I thought I would just go ahead and point out I've got some of these button quick links, and I've got a few of the breakout boards that go directly to the buttons and some cabling that goes with them. I got a couple of Tower LCC cues, which one of these is going to be for extra buttons for the frying pan area, because I want to reconfigure a few things there and include another panel towards the south end of town so I don't have to walk back and forth to throw turnouts. And the same thing in Maroon Creek. So I'm going to have a panel on what would be the east end of Maroon Creek with extra push buttons. I've also got a monofrog juicer. I can't remember exactly why I got this one, but I've got it, and I can't remember. I've got two other Tower LCC cues somewhere in here that will eventually be for Hellgate, but I've had those for a while. So that was kind of the previous purchase, aside from the most recent purchase, which is this. And I think I had a few subscribers ask about my ballast, and so this was kind of timely. I'm just almost completely out of ballast. So we've got Cumbers and Toltec. This is the N-scale ballast 1091. And then I also get the HO scale, and you can see one is considerably smaller. I generally do a 50-50 mix of each. And what else did I get? I think I got two of each is what I did. I can't remember for sure. Looks like I got 3 of the HO scale and 2 of the N scale. That should keep me going for a while. I ought to be able to, for sure, get all the way through Maroon Creek and have everything I need to ballast. And before we go back, you know, I really can't say thank you enough to everyone that's following me on this journey to build this model railroad. You know, I get a lot of really great comments about, you know, what I'm doing is inspirational. All you guys tuning in and watching and giving me feedback on what's going on, you guys are also a big inspiration and a big part of what keeps me moving forward with the railroad. So I really can't say enough about how much I appreciate your support. Thanks, guys. can see, the scene has progressed quite a little bit, presuming since the last segment. I really don't know exactly where I was at in the last segment that you may or may not have watched. My computer crashed. It didn't actually crash. The battery went dead on me in a fantastic way. As it turns out, you cannot just rely on the power cord alone to run your computer these days like you could, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. So I've got no computer, no way to edit video. It's going to cause a little bit of a hiccup in the channel, not much. I've known for a while that I needed to get a new computer because there are certain things I can't do with that one because it has passed its prime and cannot be updated any further with the iOS that it's currently running on. So it's going to cause a little bit of a hiccup, but no big deal. I'll get through it. Hopefully, it won't cause too many issues with the channel. Enough about that. So where I'm at the moment is I've got all of the background work here, probably at the stage that it needs to be. I think I need maybe two more passes with this kind of red-brown that I'm using right now, which is this, which is 50-50 unbleached titanium and burnt umber. And right now it's just a little bit too bright in some of the places. I think I can bring it down another shade and kind of get it to where it matches everything. And everything you see that has just kind of the dull red-brown color, that's going to get some kind of groundwork on top of it. So I think that's where I'm at. I'm going to pull everything back off and start working on some of the groundwork after my final washes. So we'll see where this goes. Got started on the first base layer of groundwork. I've gone in and kind of hit the areas where I know I want dirt to be. And yeah, I'm still not 100% sure what's going to go on with the road over here. Originally, I thought I was going to bring the road up through here and then kind of change my mind on that. So I think the road probably needs to terminate somewhere right in here. And then I'm also thinking maybe about having an intersection that makes you think that it goes off this direction as well. So I've got to kind of finalize that. And then I think before I do much else, I need to ballast and do the track work that I haven't done in this area while I'm kind of thinking about what to do with the road. So we'll see where it goes from here. All of the ballast work is done, and I'm ready to get started on kind of the road area and a few other things. Now, in addition to doing the ballasting, I also kind of on this back side here gone in and put what I call the vertical layer of dirt. You know, my process is always to start with a really thin layer of the soil material that, you know, lets you know where the soil is. And then after it completely dries, then you go in and you sprinkle the looser fill on top of it that helps add dimension to the flat shapes that are there. So I've done most of that, all the back through here. There's definitely some other places that I need to hit before I'm finished with that layer. But I think I am going to go ahead and work in this area here. I think I know what I'm going to do with the road. It's just a matter of how to do it. So I'm going to get started doing that, and we'll see where this goes. I'm going to jump in here again before the end of the video and share a few more things that I've got. Now, if you're a new subscriber, or maybe even if you're an old subscriber, you might not know that every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, I host a show on YouTube called Trackside Live, and it's the channel is called Back on Track. And it's me, Steve Arnold, Boxcar Jerry, and Claude Chris from the Cowboy Valley and Timberline Junction Model Railroad. Now, Claude has downsized his railroad, and Steve is also in the process of doing that, or completely changing it is probably a better way to categorize it. But, you know, the community of model railroading is just wonderful. And Claude has shared with me and giving me things from time to time that he knows he's not going to use and I might be able to make use of, just because he's that kind of guy. And so I thought I would go ahead and share some of the things that he's given me. We've got this HON3 narrow gauge GE 25 ton end cab. It's a kit. I haven't really looked at it yet. I've got some bridge abutments, I believe. Got several car, like this is an excursion car. Here's Master Creations excursion car. Wheelworks flat car. What is this? Not even sure what this is. Oh, looks like a water tank of some kind. Yeah, there it is right there. Timberline Models, Terminal NX, Model WT101 water tank. Looks like a pretty nice kit. I've got several more of these Wheelworks kits. Here's a fire engine. Here's another, looks like a 1932 Ford. Here's a mine hoist. I'm going to look into this a little bit closer. I'm not sure. That might actually fit, although, yeah, it looks like it would. The thing is if I build that and put it in the mine as I'm working on it right now, I don't think you'd ever see it. So I'm going to have to think about that. Here's another excursion car, another flat car, and then this is a Marion steam shovel kit. That's by Rio Grande Models. I think this is a die cast kit, so that will be fun. Looks pretty complicated. And then this, which I've already kind of dug in and looked at, it's a 3-stall engine house, and I'm not 100% sure. Again, I don't think that this is long enough for a K27 or a K36. I'll have to see, but I might be able to do something with that for one of my towns. And kind of the icing on the cake of all of this. See, also, I'm gonna use the word lend. I don't know what to think about this, but 2 K27s. The number, I know one of them is the 455, the other one's the 452, and I've currently got those sitting on a test track in the car shop in the house, and both of them run. They need a little love and attention, I think, as far as maybe cleaning up the gearboxes and maybe putting new drive linkage in, because I think the drive linkage is kind of brittle, so it kind of has that hop to it because it's no longer pliable, the tube in there. I think that's what's going on. But Gosh, I really don't know what to think about this other than just a big, huge thank you. And for those of you in the hobby who are generous, gosh, thank you, all of you. There you go, kids. Made a lot of progress over the last few days concerning this. There's still some things to do. I'm gonna leave the buildings wild for right now because I'm gonna have to figure out what's gonna go on with the cabling. I'm still not sure about this other shiv there, because it obviously can't fit in here. And even if this was rotated in the correct direction as the kit is supposed to be, that cable wouldn't fit through the same hole that's here. So I don't know what's going on there. I'll do a little more research. I guess it may just be that this started with a different shaft and they had issues or whatever, and then they began a different shaft, and so this is what they're using now. I don't know. That, or there could be some other things involved with that allows it to go underneath and then down, like some extra pulleys that the kit just didn't provide. If you know something about that, drop me a comment and let me know kind of what's going on with this versus this other one that obviously has to go in to where the hoist is. Other things that I'm kind of considering doing is coming in here where all of these joints are and going ahead and putting some kind of bracing material that should be there. That's just something I haven't done yet that probably needs to be done. I've got all of this along here. How the fascia interfaces with this is kind of under development. I'm not sure what I want. I think I'm going to put a test piece in here and just kind of test drive what I'm thinking, and that's keeping it just a little bit lower than maybe it is over here. I'm not sure. And the final thing that I'm still running around in my brain about, over here, I decided that the mule dock just would crowd the scene. I liked the way the road kind of came in there and gave a termination point for in any vehicle coming to that dock. But over here, I would have room for a mule dock. I could maybe even extend the narrow gauge mining track there out a little bit, and then have another ore bin that's larger that has nothing to do necessarily with the track, and maybe that's where they brought their mules in, and maybe, you know, a truck dump as well. I don't know. I'm going to think about that. I don't dislike this, but I do think that there's options there that could be explored that I might like better. Nothing that I'm going to get to immediately, because probably the very next thing I'm going to do is start working on the flora, because as it stands right now, you know, it kind of looks like it's in Nevada or Arizona. So I'm going to get busy on some trees and some bushwork and things like that. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you around the Otter Creek and Rio Grande.